I'm in a game. I'm in a game. Hello, I'm in the video with my daddy.
What's going on, everybody? So today we're interviewing Brian from Got Fuels Model Car Garage, I think is his whole channel name. But we're going to learn some stuff about the Createx paint. I know there's a bunch of people that ask me about it sometimes. And he's got it pretty much dialed in for what we're going to learn today. So hopefully, how's it going, Brian?
I'm in the video with Josh. Hey, Josh, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I always do like. I like how I put all that together. It's probably too long, to be honest, but it works.
Yeah, I don't remember who you told. You told somebody you had it a longer intro to allow people to get in and to the live stream, get the notification, and get YouTube opened up. And yeah,
it kind of does help with that. I'm not gonna lie, it does kind of help with that.
Yeah.
So, your channel name, where'd that come from?
Well, I also play video games, and for years I was hauling gas because I hauled gas for many years, and once I started hauling jet fuel, I wanted to change my name, my gamer tag name, and instead of Got Milk, I came up with Got Fuel. It's short for jet fuel. And I had the YouTube channel, which from time to time I would stream my PC gaming. I did do a lot of it. And when I started doing model cars, I just put model cars on the end of it, model car garage on the end of it. So that's where I get Got Fuels from. Hey, everybody, Fred.
No, I mean that's really cool. It's just kind of just curious. So you're a truck driver, I'm assuming, right? From that, how does that help with the hobby, or does it hinder it?
It hinders it. It gives me no time back there, none. Yeah. And the last couple of weeks too, I don't know if you saw the video. I had a lightning strike, a power surge, and it took off all of my electronics except for my monitor. That's the only thing basically of high end, 4 TVs, modem, router, motherboard on my computer, my mom's computer, printer. And that's really all I've had time to do for the last 2 weeks is do the insurance, go buy new stuff, set it up, get home from work. I set up one TV, get home from work, set up another TV, get home from work, set up a computer. So that's all I've had time to do.
No, that's a process. I can only imagine how much of a headache that was.
I'm still not done. I still have to do my modem and router. I'm using the rental unit right now, and my brain is tired. My brain is tired. And I'm in a buddy build with Fred, and he's been done. We don't want to talk about a snap kit. And I ain't been able to get nothing done.
So do you not take the kits out on the road with you?
No, I come home every day.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
There's a bed on the truck. It's got a full twin size mattress in it. I can't stand up, but there ain't a whole lot of trucks I can stand up in. Great. But I very, very, very seldomly stay out.
Well, I mean, there's some truck drivers that like my brother drives, right? So there's times where he is out for like 2 months.
Yeah,
he's like
a
the
road-
best roommate ever.
He's
Like,
an OTR over the road. Yeah, I'm more line haul. I go out and come back. I don't go from point A to point B and then go to point C to get loaded and then deliver over in point F, and then I go up the road up to North Augusta. I load. I go make a delivery at an airport. I go back to North Augusta and load. I go make another delivery at another airport, and then I come home. So yeah, but it's still I can do anywhere from 500 to 600 miles a day.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. That's the knowledge I have.
Yeah.
So you're out of the Georgia area, right? Where exactly?
I am actually in the Augusta area.
Augusta area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's the hobby scene like there?
All we really have is Hobby Lobby, and then there's a Hobby Town USA. I asked them 6-8 months ago if they had an influx in interest in models and model cars and trucks, and they said it's helped, but I can't find like no groups or anything like that. There's they told me there was one. He gave me an email address, but it come back as an unknown email address. But other than that, there's not much that I'm aware of. There's a big RC plane community here. There's actually two places where they have an RC plane airfield, not too far from me, which is something I used to dabble in RC cars. Especially, I love the nitro, the gas powered cars.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to do that. Matter of fact, when I was a teenager, up until I guess about the time I actually got a job, all I did every night was go around the corner up to a laundromat, sweep and mop the floors. And at one point in time, I had $1,500-$1,600 worth of RC equipment. And that was back in, the mid 80s. So I think those RC stuff cost a lot more back then than they did nowadays. A lot more.
Yeah.
Well, back then you built it like an RC car. It came individual, the frame pieces. You had to put the frames. You had a bunch of tiny little screws. I had to build the transfer case on one of them I had and everything. So, I mean, I was building model cars back then too. So,
the cool thing about that is that's like, it's kind of, and back then they were durable. Like, I mean, literally you could take a jump with a lot of those cars and it wouldn't break.
Yeah.
Now it's like you got to go inspect, see what you just broke.
Yeah, and then you got to go get the expensive stuff to replace it with so it don't break no more.
Yeah.
That's why I got one out in the shed.
So you like building cars. I
tend to stick with, I done my first motorcycle with the motorcycle group build that was hosted by Cliff. And I really enjoyed it. Well, I can't say that I go buy kits and, be like Jamie Garvin and do mainly motorcycles, but I will be joining in on the motorcycle group build every year, as long as somebody hosts it.
So what'd you build for the group build? You built
was the Tamiya Kawasaki 1400 ZZR.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Those are nice bikes.
That was a really, really nice kit. It went together very well. A lot of great detail. Just lots of small parts with fat fingers.
and the decals are not difficult.
Those decals were the worst. They were falling apart with water.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was trying to move like the dash decals. I hadn't put any microsol or microset on them and trying to move them around and just with a Q-tip, and they were tearing on me.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. But that's to me though. You either get really good decals or not so much.
The only other Tamiya kit I'd done was the 88 Porsche 911 Turbo, and what decals were in there were good, were fine. I didn't have any problems with them. I put microsol on them, but my understanding too, that was a kit that a mold that they purchased from somebody else that had been around for a while. It was a great kit. It was basically a snap kit, but it was a great kit. It went together very well. No flashing or no bad mold lines or anything, even on the parts tree.
So what most of the cars that you like to build?
I like the old, older stuff, 70s hot rods, 60s hot rods, 50s, 40s, anything like 30s. I'm a hot rod guy. Always been, as a kid, would watch those go down the road. That's what the models I built as a kid. I think the newest, what would be considered a new car back then. I didn't know it was a snap kit either, Fred, just like you. It was a Monte Carlo SS that I built as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the newest body style model that I had built back then. And other than, let's see, no, the 88, again, the 88 is the newest. And I started a Tamiya GT4. That's what, the 2019, based off 2019 Mustang, I think. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I've got that started. It got the body painted, but that's about it. That would be the newest body style. But I knew when it was released, I was getting it because I had just bought a Mustang myself. So
there you go.
Yeah. And I knew I was going to paint it the same color as my Mustang. So I went to the automotive paint supply store and got it color coded or color keyed.
Wait, color key for what?
I got the paint, the actual automotive base paint.
Oh, okay.
Right. That stuff, you want to talk about something that lays down nice. It's hot as hell. You can't mix it in plastic. You can't shoot it on plastic. It will eat the hell out of plastic. But you want to talk about something that lays down so smooth and easy. Oh, man, that stuff is great. I love it.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. We got an automotive paint supply store. I use a little of everything. Little of everything.
Yeah, and we'll get to like some of the painting stuff here in a little bit. But the most thing, like tool wise, you're just pretty simple. That's the impression you get, right?
Very, very simple. I don't even use high end cutters, sprue cutters. I got a cheap set from Hobby Lobby. I think they were like $7, but I didn't get them from the model section. I found another section. I found another pair. It was somewhere over around, I think it was somewhere around the jewelry making section.
That's where I found mine.
Yeah. And other than that, your X-Acto number 11. I got a vice drill. Just very, very basic stuff. Nothing fancy. I do got a pair of channel locks for opening paint.
Yeah, see, I because my son's 9, right? I don't keep an X-Acto blade out here.
Right.
That's all I need.
I tried to get my grandson many years ago into building a model car, and he's ADHD, and couldn't get him to focus long enough to put the engine together hardly. But now he comes over and he sees mine. He's like,
Right?
You could have been doing this too, but you wouldn't sit still long enough.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I know for me, I could get my son to do any kind of modeling probably till about 7, and then it was all downhill after that. Like,
Right.
I was done.
So he's not into it at all.
He'll do it, but it's not something he loves to do.
Right. Well, a little bit when he gets a little bit older, he might enjoy sitting down with pops and building a car or a truck or maybe even painting a figure. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, my mom's got those cement statues, right? And
Right.
we're going to do a bunch of those up,
Oh, okay.
and that's going to be Createx paint because the stuff I used last time.
You going to keep them in house then?
No, they're out in the yard.
And you're going to put Createx on?
Well, we're going to try something different because the cheap stuff I went cheap on the paint, right? Because
Like craft
outside. It was going to be outside, but I used all the clear coats out of the rattle can, the heavy duty stuff. Yeah, it didn't last.
Really?
Or it rained so much here. That's
why I don't understand how Createx. I don't think you're going to have to hit it with some 2K or something.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to try something different this time.
You can get the 2K in the rattle can.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
See, I haven't dealt with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I've never used it, but on the bottom of the can, there's the hardener, or maybe it's taped to the side of it, and you press it into the can somehow, and it mixes the hardener in with the clear coat, and you can just do that. And but after 12, 24 hours, it ain't any good. So if you get all your figures done, you get all your statues done that you're going to do, then you can clear coat them with the 2K.
Yeah.
The paint, over time, especially in any sunlight, will fade out just like any other paint. But it ain't gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna just melt off the next time it rains.
Yeah, and that and
it'll be shiny. Do what?
And I said it'll be outside, so who knows?
Yeah, right, and it'll be shiny.
Yeah. Yes, it would be.
Yeah, I don't know if they make a matting one that's a matte 2K or not. That'd be something you could look at in case you don't want them shiny. So yeah, they make it in a gloss clear. I don't see why they wouldn't make it in a matte.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be that's future project for me, like when I have no time to do it. I already know that.
Part of life, ain't it? When you got no time to do something, that's when you got to do it all.
Yeah. That's Okay, so Createx paint. I watched the video you did on how you thin it, and it's pretty much the same process, but things have changed over the years, and that's what I want to kind of cover.
As far as they've changed their they just recently call everything Wicked Colors, especially in their automotive line. I don't know if I haven't purchased any of their what they call those, the detail colors or anything like that. The detail sets that they sell, big sets of 20 and 40 colors that are got some artist's name on them to them. I don't know if those are considered Wicked Colors or not, but the resin has recently changed to where they're using the same resin in the paint that they use with their new paint additives, which are the 4050, 4051, and 4052. And they just recently released the 4053 that's called a high gloss. But the 4050 is a gloss, 40 4051 is the matte and 4052 is the flat.
Now, see how I understand it. The new gloss is supposed to be a little more durable to outside stuff.
That you can use it outside, but it's still water based. You can wet sand it. They'll tell you can wet sand it, but you can't pour water onto your, like if you put it on a car. Let's go hypothetical. If you're going to do your car, your automotive 1-to-1 car in this gloss, you don't want to just take buckets of water and pour it on your car and wet sand it. You just want a damp piece of sandpaper and wet sand it, and then you would polish it out with normal automotive grade polishing stuff. But I would recommend it, if especially with somebody that has breathing problems, and can't have those chemical laden paints. I would recommend them for their model cars. In a minute, I would recommend them as a top coat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I haven't gotten any of the new stuff yet, because where I'm at is I still have the 4012 that I'm reducing it all with.
That's a reducer.
Yeah, and it's basically I don't know if it's the same formula, but it's like you can still use it on the stuff I have now, but like the new stuff, it's not necessarily the same, right? Is that?
Well, no, is what they found was the 4012 as a reducer in their candies. They said it was seeding the paint, which was dark spots. I had never had the problem with any of the candies I'd used 4012 in, but in their Wicked Pearl lines, I had seen dark spots in the paint. And when they come out and they said they no longer recommend it for that, I had just purchased a full candy set from Coast Air, and it had like 9 colors. It had the 4030, which is the balancing clear, and that's just a urethane additive. And I've actually heard people using that in craft acrylics with great success. It makes it more durable, makes the paint more durable and tapeable.
And it doesn't bleed through as much too. That's the other.
With candies, their candies are water based, and it's going to bleed through. Period. If you put candy over candy, it's going to bleed through. It's not like an automotive candy. It's going to leach.
But I thought that was maybe that's a different one. I thought that was the whole point.
They got a bleed checker. They got a bleed checker 4040 that's supposed to help with that.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they still say you can still have a little bit of bleed, but it's not going to be nearly as bad as it would be without it. Because they don't even recommend that you use their water-based gloss coats on top of a candy, because it's going to bleed up through that top coat.
Okay. Yeah.
The only thing they recommend. I mean, you can, especially if it's going to be, if it's going to be something, if it's just for a model car, I don't see why not. But if you're going to use that on something outdoors, no, definitely not, because it's just going to bleed up through it.
Yeah, no, I agree, Mopar. You still need to wear
Oh, yeah, you need to wear a respirator. Yeah, but it's not a chemical paint. So, like somebody like Terry, yeah, he still needs to wear a respirator. But he don't have to worry about them hot chemical laden paints, and it's still, although, yeah, it's just a water-based paint, you still need a respirator protection.
And we're talking about Createx, but technically all this like Hobby Lobby stuff, you should do it for that too.
Oh yeah, any paint, yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be one of those that tell you I don't always do it, but you know when I'm shooting 2K or the automotive actual automotive urethane base, no, I definitely have it on.
Yeah.
Everything else, I generally don't spray wide open either. So you know it's just really light. I know I should, but
Well, and
I
you
look
have
at it this way: I haul 7,500 gallons of jet fuel at a time. And I think that's going to kill me before a little bit of paint. But you know, don't take my advice. Don't take my advice.
yeah, you're probably right on that. But you know, who wants to roll the dice on that?
Right.
But I mean, you even have a really nice airbrush station too, right?
Oh, I got a Pace Peacekeeper.
Yeah, those are pretty
Hobby.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't get the one I ordered. I ordered the mini. Was it the super mini? And they sent me the mini plus, the one with lights in it. And I was like, well, this ain't the one I ordered. And I was a little concerned because the height on your bottom shelf and the height on the filter, it doesn't have the steep angle. It's a lot more straighter, and it brings the front of the filter down a little closer to your workspace. But I contacted him and he was like, you know, look, I'll take it back and send you the right one. He said, but the way I look at it is right now, if I do that, I'm actually going to lose money. Where right now I'm not, even if you keep the wrong hobby booth. And he said, that being said, this airbrush booth or this hobby booth, I shouldn't say airbrush booth. Yes, always. Yes, Terry. He said it's designed to catch 95% of the overspray from 6 inches away from the bottom shelf of the booth. And I haven't had, I hardly get any, like there's not a big sides on it. They're kind of V-shaped on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they done that, but I mean, as you can kind of see it behind me a little bit, you see it's kind of V-shaped.
Yeah.
I haven't had any issues with overspray not going into the booth. I don't get any on those outside panels. I don't get any overspray on those outside panels. It's a very good booth. I would recommend whichever one you want from them, whichever one you can afford to get. I had one of those cheap Chinese airbrush booths, and I was cleaning out my airbrush, an enamel, and I was spraying lacquer through it, and I heard a from the fan. And at that point in time, it never pulled the fumes out, nowhere near as good as it did prior, but it still wasn't nowhere near as good as this one. You could see, especially using 2K, because I'm spraying it wide open, you could see the vapors rolling back into the room. And as I quit spraying, you could see them disappear. With this booth, I don't see that.
Yeah.
I don't see the cloud of vapors rolling around and then getting pulled out of the booth.
And if you do, it's time to change the filter.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Because that's
how I generally do about a model and a half, and I change my filter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I get about a mile and a half through, and it probably doesn't need it. Doesn't absolutely have to have it, but I do it anyways.
No, it's not a bad,
Yeah.
I think the one I've got in there now has been in there for a while.
Well, this uses regular standard household pleated filters.
Mm-hmm.
That was it 800 micron, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those ones in the Chinese airbrush booths, yeah, I can get more than that out of those. But and I would not if anybody asked me, I would never recommend one of those airbrush booths, especially if you're going to be using any kind of solvent paints. Absolutely. Do not use them. Do not buy one. Yeah, they're cheap, and they're cheap. They're just that.
Yeah, but like I have the Micromark one, probably about the same size. I think.
It's probably. I'm sure it's made in China. It's all one builder, just somebody's different name on it. That's it.
Yeah. It's all it's all safety at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Whatever whatever you can afford.
Right. But like I said, they got the smaller one. I think it's the Mini.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Mini Plus. I think that's the Mini. What is that one? The one with the light on it. That's the Super Mini. So the other one is the Mini Plus, I believe. They got 3. They got a great big one that's 36 inches long. It's got 2 exhaust fans on it. But that thing isn't cheap.
Yeah. And then if you can upgrade the fan in those, it's always recommended, right?
Well, no, you're talking about upgrade in this one, or
no, the Chinese ones.
Oh, well, you can't, because all it is it's just a round fan. It's not, you're not going to get any more out of it. It's not like these here have the squirrel cage type blower motors in them, blower fans, like HVAC type fans. There's a motor and shaft that comes out of the housing, and then there's the squirrel cage fan. It's a blower type motor.
Oh, okay.
Safer. You don't, the fumes aren't going by the brushings in the motor. They don't go nowhere near it. So they're much safer. They're not truly what you want to call that, arc proof or spark proof. I was checking into build my own and was going to get the spark proof fan. Yeah. It was like $500 or $600. I was like, yeah, nope. That's when I started checking into blowers. And then I was going to build my own. And then I had that happen, and I was working, of course, 12, 14 hours a day. I'm like, I don't have time. Time I get home, get the wood out of the shed, I have to put it back in the shed to come in and eat dinner and go to bed, So I got a sheet of wood out there that I was going to use for it. And maybe one day, but I'm very happy with what I got. I don't think I will.
Well, I mean, you got to do what's easier for you, right?
Yeah. And Mopar's comment, you're absolutely right. You're better off. You're going to get a much better booth for about the same price. You get you a good blower motor and a sheet of plywood. I don't know. Plywood right now is probably $100 a sheet. So
yeah, I work in lumber, right? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous right now. Okay, so with the Createx paint, you've actually done really, really well at some of the shows. Did you want to show some of those models that you've done like that?
Well, I'm not exclusive, first of all, to Createx. I've sprayed the MCW lacquers. I love those. Those spray very nicely. I've used the Scale Finishes lacquers and the Scale Finishes enamels. And those spray really, really nicely. But this is, as most know, this is probably my favorite build here. That's my Foose Cadillac.
Oh, there you go.
And it's marbleized. It's actually got a fade.
How did you do that?
The top is the top part of the paint. That's that is what yellow is that? Tequila yellow. And then it fades to the bottom to Brandywine. And that's just it's a marbleized paint. It's done in reverse on what you would do with the 1-to-1. Actually, the interior, that is an automotive acrylic enamel,
Oh,
and
cool.
the interior is the same color, automotive acrylic enamels, and they dry extremely fast. I really enjoy spraying those too. They spray really nice. You thin them down properly. But that's a marbleized. It You do it in reverse from what you would normally do a 1-to-1. You do your black first, and then you would do your silver or white. I used a white flake and white pearl in that, and then done my candy on top of it, and that's got an automotive 2K on it. And the Foose FD, I don't know if you'll be able to see the pearl in that. That's a candy too. It's a candy lemon yellow.
It's
on
super
top of,
shiny in the light.
yeah, it's on top of a white metallic metal flake. Trying to get some light on it off of it, so hopefully pick up the pearl a little better. No, not really.
It's hard because of the color, I think.
Right, and then this one is
that's a supernatural color.
Exposed. This is which paint was this? This was MCW, their lacquers base coat, and this is their color matched Danuba blue or Danaboo blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then this is actually it's the Lindenberg 66 396 SS that I converted into a small block Malibu. This was the color and the car my dad had when him and mom got married, and I built this for the cancer awareness group build.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then this is one of my more recent, the 40 Ford. And I use two different color bases on it. I use a black base on the bottom, and I mixed gray and that was Createx black sealer, and then I mixed a white and the black to give me a gray about the same color as a primer, and it kind of gave me a two-tone effect, and and this is their Wicked Pearl Yellow. So you can't really see the pearl flake. The lighting is terrible, but there's literally two different colors because of the different base coat. Mm-hmm. And it rolled, the way the color rolled in the light and how it goes light to dark, almost the color shift. I don't know if you can see that. You can see it pretty good on the fenders. How it's lighter up top and it rolls to a dark, almost a color shift. I wasn't really expecting that, but I was like, man, that's a great effect off that.
No, like I said, it's really cool. And you're not. And what kind of airbrushes do you have? That was the other question I was going to ask when you're using the Createx stuff.
My go-to airbrush is my Iwata Revolution CR 0.5 needle nozzle.
Oh, okay.
I also have an Iwata Eclipse 0.3. But it's not really, that's not my go-to. My go-to is my Iwata Revolution. I spray anything and everything through it. But I have a Pache H, but I haven't used it yet.
That thing is bulletproof.
Yeah.
I have it. Like, you can spray it. If you can't spray it through one of the other airbrushes, the Posh H will spray it.
Right. And if anybody's planning on doing any kind of candies, especially with the Createx, it's recommended you just use any of the paints. They recommend just using your airbrush to blow air over the paint to dry it. So I would not recommend a tankless compressor because it's going to just constantly run. And my first one burned up. It was tankless. And then I got a nice high-end hobby air compressor with tank on it, and it hardly ever runs.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I have the 21-gallon Harbor Freight one, so
Right.
sometimes I have to look at it to make sure I'm not running out of air sometimes.
Right. Yeah. Well, I have I'm in my hobby room, or my den is in the house. So I went with a high end hobby compressor. It's the Pache. It's actually
okay.
Pache. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you like that?
I love it. It's a little loud. It's I can close the door, and my mama's room is next to me, and it doesn't bother her. And my wife would at night. My wife would be on the other end of the house. So I mean, if you're in here, it sounds pretty loud, but outside of the walls, it's not bad at all. I do really, really like it. Only bad part is it's got standard air fittings, for your standard hardware compressor, and trying to get the reducers and all that. Lowe's or nobody like that carried the right fitting to connect. What did I have? The Master Air? I think that's yeah. So they didn't have it, and nobody had the right fittings. I think I finally found them on Amazon.
You see the question on the screen?
No, I did not use Graham. No gold leaf. That's candy over a white fine metallic and a white coarse metallic. They say the coarse metallic doesn't even have any pigment in the paint. It's just it's a clear binder and coarse metallic flake.
Yeah, and build turned out awesome.
I took that to my first ever model car show at Acme back last year, and it was photographed and put in a magazine. So I was like, this is my first ever model car show, and I got put in a magazine. I was ecstatic about just getting a picture taken.
Yeah.
The possibility of going in a magazine. But it's funny because me, Fred Henry, Heartbeat, Rick Scott, and who was that? That was Rambler 69. All of us were on the same page, and we were all friends there, and we were all on the same page, and that was pretty cool feeling to be on the same page with Pappy and Rambler and Heartbeat is awesome model builders as they are, to be on the same page with my friends. Yeah, it was pretty cool that we got chosen that way.
No, yeah. I mean, I always like looking at that magazine right at I think that issue comes out like 2 months after, because it takes like a month.
Yeah, it was in the March. So you got January, February, March, April. Yeah, March, April. It was in the March, April issue.
Yeah, it's super cool to always look at that one.
Yeah,
because there's a lot.
I went by it at first. I was looking, and I went by. I was like, I got to slow down. Let me look back. And I was like, oh, there it is. And then I realized Fred was on that page, and it wasn't. It wasn't Rambler on that page. It was Fred. What's that guy's name? You know that nigga. What's his name? Is it Dan? What's that guy's name that's on the same page with us, Fred? I think that's his name, Dan.
No, it's How do you like the Acme show?
It was a blast. I've only been to 3.
Okay.
But what I liked about the models, the show, Brad, yeah, that's him, Brad. What I liked about going to the show is the camaraderie, and that And I'm glad I got half introduced to the StreamYard because you just in a room by yourself,
Mhm.
and when you go to a model show, you got the camaraderie of your fellow builders that you got stuff in common with, and because it's not like you're going to go down to your local bar and meet somebody who builds model by chance, or especially when you don't have a big model scene. You don't have those modeling friends that you can chit chat with, and then StreamYard. Saturday evenings I do a live, and just come hang out. Whoever you are, come on. Let's hang out. Let's chit chat and build a model or a snap kit.
And that's kind of where I was going to go next. Is your live hangout on Saturdays? For me, it starts at like 3-4 o'clock,
Right? Yeah.
and there's sometimes you're still doing it like well into 1 a.m.
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. And I've been up for over 24 hours at that point in time too. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes they've gone a little too long. Hey, Andrew.
I see. For me, I always catch like the last 2 hours.
Right.
Because Saturday, like I do this, and then it's family time.
Family time.
And then,
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then I might get back out here, after they go to bed,
Right. Right.
No, and that's the cool thing about, I mean, I think you pay for StreamYard, right? Because
so I can have more people in it. Yeah. Because I've had some really long streams, and I'm going to use up my 20 hours in 2 weekends.
Yeah.
So I do got to try to calm it down a little bit, not go on so long.
And that's the cool thing, because like people are coming in and out. It's not the same 6 guys for 8 hours.
Right. Yeah. Whoever you are, you got a camera.
Yeah.
Let's say StreamYard don't like phones a lot, but you got a streaming camera. Jump in. Whoever you are, come on in. Let's hang out. Let's chit chat, and let's build a model.
The thing that I will say about StreamYard and the phones, if you have a headset, they work better.
They work better.
If you just try to come on with just your cell phone, you're gonna annoy everybody.
Right.
But that's how I've figured a couple things out.
And the bad part about being on your phone is you can't see the chat. So like over on my build desk, I have this camera set up. I see I got a rig back there, right over.
Okay.
There. It's just ripped down 2x4 into 2x2s, and my record camera is directly over, and then my streaming camera is set up kind of in front of me a little bit, up towards the wall, about halfway in between the wall and my recording camera. And that's and I got a laptop over there, so that's where I stream from over there.
Them 6-hour streams are killing him.
You can't hang out that long, old man. Grumpy old man.
Nice. Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's always a blast. And I do like the fact that you get so many different people throughout the time. That
right.
Like you could just throw that on and you're like doing housework and stuff and just hear everybody come in and out.
Right. And chit chat. Yeah. That's if I didn't have my laptop and was streaming over there, I would probably pull it up on YouTube, on my phone, on my TV, and just go to other people's live streams and play back and just listen, just while I'm sitting there building. If I wasn't doing it, that's probably what I would do. And just listen to other people talk about, because, we'll pass on a tip or two, during the live stream that, what I do with this, like Fred, when he was doing a glue kit, he was talking about how he used the orange tube testers glue, and he uses it with the Tamiya extra thin as like an activator, and it dries painted parts together really quick.
Oh, what did I do? So
just follow me, Black
And-
Sheep, Got Fuels Model Car Garage. 6 o'clock this evening, East Coast.
Yeah, I think he's still on the East Coast, but he's one of the people that puts the link in the chat, so you just have to click on it. And
Yeah, or either you come in, it might be up at the top of the chat, and
Yeah.
if you want a fresh link, I'll drop a fresh link in.
yeah, it's a super cool group. It's super cool.
Yeah,
I
got a lot of sometimes,
And-
a lot of times, very extremely knowledgeable model builders like Fred that's in there, like Rick Zanuck, that and Andrew, that have tons and years of model building experience. And we don't always get to catch a question in the chat, to be honest, because generally we're looking down and we're building. But I'll try to look at it, and if I catch a question, or you can pop in and ask any of us anything, well, we'll do the best we can.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I like it when like Papa Dan comes in, and then you guys all crack on each other about the football.
Oh yeah.
You
we crack on each other all night, like Fred
Yeah.
Smith.
I mean, and then you get Terry to come in, and he's just chilling.
Yeah, some of them are regulars, like Terry, Charlie Mack come in there. But yeah, there are very regular people that are in there just about every weekend.
I'll try to be grumpier tonight.
I've never seen you grumpy old man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So the other question I was gonna have, how do you like the whole StreamYard process?
I've enjoyed it. I mean, it just took me a little bit to figure out how to put in my intro video, but once I figured that out, I mean, it's a simple process. If you want to join in on somebody, you just click a link. That's all you get. Click a link, allow it to access your camera and your microphone, and bam, you're in.
And it's like crazy how much options there are for this.
Yeah, I haven't really gone through it, and like you got your background. I really haven't gone through it and done any of that yet. But I mean, as far as like, you could put me up when I was showing, it's for show and tell, and that's what I try to do when somebody's doing it. If even though I'm not looking directly at the screen, I might be looking down. I'm still trying my best to listen. And if somebody's talking about something in particular, I'll put them on the full screen so you can see what they're talking about.
Yeah, no, it's really, really cool that way. I know I don't pay the $20 fee. I pay because I did it on Black Friday, so I pay half that.
Really? They had a Black Friday sale?
Yeah. That's how.
Wow.
That
Dang, I wish I'd have caught that one. I caught the Black Friday sale on my 3D printers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way I've gotten into the 3D printing thing, because 3D printers are expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When back in the summer, when Fred was talking about him getting one, I went and looked at the price. And I was like, oh, I ain't doing that. But then I wound up getting the wash and cure station and the printer for almost the same price as just the printer.
Yeah.
Like, I'd already talked to my wife. I was thinking about getting it, and then that sale come up, and I'm like, I'm getting it. I'm not, I know I'm not going to be getting right into printing right away. I got to set up an area and all that for it, and I'm running out of room in here really, really quick.
It just means you got to reorganize.
I had just done a video on that a couple months ago. I'm running out of walls. Ain't but 4 walls. Well, 4 walls, and one's got a window, and 2 got a door. So
That's funny.
yeah.
So what have you mostly been 3D printing?
I haven't. Just all I did was the test print, working on exposure settings and stuff like that. I downloaded a free STL file for test printing.
Okay.
Yeah, just looking at my exposures and playing with the exposure time, really just trying to just messing with that, dialing in a little bit.
The heck was that? I guess when I'm done here, I'm gonna have to go look see who just hit my car. At least that's what it
Is
sounded
that
like.
what that knock sound was?
Yeah,
Oh,
like someone just hit one of my cars outside.
oh, Jesus.
Okay, yeah,
Now that's on your head.
yeah. I'm about to open the garage door here in a minute. If it
I
keeps
hear you. I hear you.
No, the whole. I totally lost where I was at. That sound got me.
Yeah, I can understand when there could be possible damage done to your car outside.
Yeah, so we've hit almost an hour. Did you have any questions for me?
Well, you made a mention in the pre-live on why you got into doing figures.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've made that mention before, but I'd like to tell everybody why you got into figure painting.
So the figure painting is to learn the skills there with the paintbrush and how to take them to a model car. Like dry brushing the whole bottom half of the car,
Right.
So all those lines and stuff just pop.
Showing the weathering. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, figure painting, I mean, you got to be kind of precise when it comes.
There's a talent to it. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But like doing the rings for the dash, or the rings for around the speedometer and stuff.
Right.
Before I started figure painting, I could not paint those to save my life, and now
it's a toothpick. You can cut the very tip of the toothpick off and make it flat, and it might take you several dabs, but that's how you can get a nice ring on that dash like that. Now, unless you've got some special tools.
See, I've got paintbrushes now this was a $2 paintbrush.
Right. Yeah. I've got some really fine tip too, but I found that you can't beat a toothpick.
Yeah. See, and then there's this caveat, then you start doing figures and then you get hooked on them.
Oh yeah.
And now I can't stop. I had to print out the Justice League and, there's these WizKid Transformer figures.
Uh-huh.
I haven't got the base on this one yet, but I mean, that's Optimus Prime. I only put 3 colors on it. That's it.
Right.
Doing the. Hey, I don't know if it'll show up. It may not, but here. Sorry. Doing the gold stuff on the blade for the detail work.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see that now.
And it's just stuff like that makes it fun, and then you get stuff like this.
So how did you get that fine detailing on that blade like that? Is that just dry brushed?
That's taking the edge of the brush and I'll use a thicker paintbrush, but I'll put a point back on it. So instead of using the tip, I use the side of the paintbrush.
Right.
And then just go down the side.
Okay.
Lightly on it. So you just get that light.
I actually do that with the stereo and the AC controls. I do that as well, where I use the side of the brush and just very lightly touch it, or a toothpick, either one. Yeah. But I could see where that could probably work better, especially because I think I was using a finer point brush. I'll have to try that with a little bit fatter paintbrush and see how well that works.
Yeah, when you're doing stuff like this and you go to paint, you want to get like a bigger brush for
Right.
like the bottom of a car.
Right.
But if you're doing like the eyeball, you want this size brush. So you
Right.
gotta have
Got to have the right tool for the right job. Yeah.
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 And it's all
Like,
a process.
you're not gonna take a 7/16 wrench and loosen up a 1/2 inch nut.
Well, true.
Yeah. I don't care how hard
Figure it out.
it's gonna work. Yeah. Yeah. I made mention in the pre-stream too. What I realized doing the 40 Ford. Let me grab it. So you can use like chalks. What are those chalks called? Weathering chalks.
Oh, the pigment powders.
Yeah, you can scrape off the chalk and make it into a dust. But I got, what is this?
That's a
This
channel.
is AK Pigments.
Oh, here. Whoa, here you go.
Yeah, this is AK Pigments. The light is terrible. This is actually called North African Dust, and I'm sure it's not going to show up. But your black interiors. No, it ain't. Let me see. I can stick a flashlight on it. Nope. So black interiors, your door panels, they'll have the card will have, a texture that looks like a door panel. But when you paint it black, that's all you see is black. If you take the pigment or that chalk, whatever you do, and you use it as a dry brush, it highlights your highs and lows and gives it the separation that you wouldn't normally see. And I just figured that out doing that one. And if you can go get the chalks, those weathering chalks, and just use an X-Acto blade, or pick you up some weathering pigments. This stuff is going to last forever. They are not cheap. I actually got them free. I ordered one thing of Alclad. I don't know if I ordered the chrome or the black chrome, but they sent me 2 of these pigments, 3 things of Alclad paint, and something else. I got like 5 or 6 different bottles of paint. I ordered one thing of paint off. I don't even remember the store I got it from, off of eBay, and they sent me a whole box. I'm like, I didn't order all this. What is all this? And I open it up, and it's just a bunch of free stuff. I'm like, damn, I don't hardly ever get anything for free. So yeah, I was like, this is cool, and I gave it a try. And what I was going for was to weather the interior and make it look used and dirty. And I wound up bringing out highlights, and I was like, oh wow, I'll never do another black interior without putting something light tan colored like that. Yeah, pastel chalk. There you go, Terry. Without doing that to the interior, because it brings all your highs and lows out so well. And it's hard to see unless you're looking in the model and it's well lit, but I know it's there. Yeah. I can look in it, in my regular lit room, and I can see it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the cool thing about, the dry brushing technique is you can kind of simulate that fabric detail. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It'll kind of show up a little bit if you do it right. It might take you a couple different cars to, but all it is just little bitty details that, just pop. And,
right. Yeah. That's what surprised me about doing that on the interior, on how well it really, because like you got a vinyl door card, and it's not just flat. It's got the waves to it, and it brought out those highs and lows in it. And I was taken back I was like, well, I ain't making it look used and abused, I'm making it look dirty. I'm making it look better.
or the other one is like the speaker cover on the door.
Right.
That's the other one that like you just hit it with a little bit of dry brushing and it just pops.
Yeah. And even I would imagine you could probably use a tan acrylic, the craft acrylic, and dry brush it, and you'd probably come out with the same goal as bringing out those highs and lows in something so simple as the door card.
And Aries is right, Andrew. The other thing figures teach you is color theory.
Yeah. Andrew was he was in my live with Miguel not long ago, and he was you already know it. I had just done the 44. And he was like, I was like, you can do it, Brian. You could do that. You could do it. I'm like, how do you know I could do it? Because you already know it. You need to teach me something. I'm like, I don't need to teach you anything. I'm not going to teach you.
Yeah, I remember that conversation. That was funny to watch. even poking the bear in the chat, like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was poking the guy that could have kicked him out.
Hey, there is that little caveat, right? There is that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you just
I got a pretty rigid spine. You piss one of my friends off, though, that's a different story.
Well, I think everybody has that at some point.
Yeah.
To be honest. But do you have any other questions for me?
I want to know what made you decide to start doing these interviews.
So when was I doing the podcast? 2 years ago? 3 years ago, I think we started it, but we ended not this February, last February. I kind of made the decision I had to do something with this program, because that's why I originally bought the program, was for the podcast. So we could stream to more areas, to each, because we were doing it live on YouTube sometimes too. And so we could hit more audience. And, they just decided probably about the end of November, December sometime, they didn't want to do it anymore.
So you would do this with multiple other people? Because see, I didn't find you until after, I think it was Fred Henry.
Yeah.
That you had done an interview with, and he mentioned you, and that's when I went and found you.
Yeah, see, the 2 years before that, I was on podcast with Mark and Gordon, and we were just it's Brewcast on Spotify, I think.
Oh, okay.
But I did that, and I was, it was a process. I'm not, I was learning a lot about, me for the most part, and the social media aspect. And then, I either had to do this, or I was going to get rid of the StreamYard, or I was going to stop paying for the StreamYard thing, because I can't just blow $10 every month and not have so that's what kind of I started with what I think Fred was number 5 or 6, but I just had 6 people lined up, and I did them like all February and March, I think. And it kind of started taking off a little bit, and then it just, so I kept doing it. Right.
And that's what somebody, who was that? Somebody you had just recently interviewed, who brought up that he was surprised you had such low subscription base with doing this. And, I know you share it to Facebook groups. I've seen that. And I'm like, I don't understand why. Because this is initially when I, first saw it, I was kind of, I don't know about that, but as I've watched a few, I'm like, yeah, this is a neat concept, and I understand the schedule too. Oh, I thought he was talking about your time frame schedule that you're doing it. But it can be watched anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it baffles me that you don't have a more subscription base for bringing the community to us.
I don't know the answer to it. So I'm not talking about like before I started doing the interviews, right? And it's not a knock on anybody, but right, I think I only had like 100 and maybe 250, 125, and I'd get 6 people to watch the video.
Really?
Yeah. And I've done everything from Gundams to Star Trek, Star Wars, 3D printed stuff.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do a little everything.
And I think that's some of the problem, because I don't just do cars. I do cars, figures.
So the modeling,
yeah,
the automotive modeling is much bigger than the figure.
Mm-hmm. Well, the figure side of it is just as big of a community, but I also do cars. I do 3D printing.
The figure people don't want to see you do cars, and the car people don't want to see you do figures. Is that what you think your analogy of it is?
I think that's a lot of the problem. Is I don't just, I don't just do one.
It's like Charlie Mack says. If a model builder should be able to do everything, and I believe that, but I'm not the person that's going to do everything. I'm not the person that's going to do figures and planes and helicopters and armor. I'm going to mainly stick with the automotive side. Yeah, I want to do a plane. I want, I want to do some other stuff. But it doesn't bite my interests, as much as the automotive stuff does. Because I've always been a car person. I've always, as a kid, I've always been attracted to the hot rods. Hear that engine rumbling, that V8, So that's what I'm thinking when I'm building one.
No, but like I said, I can't tell you the reason. That's kind of my opinion. But as I've gone along, I can't tell you what the subscriber rate. It goes up each week. I can tell you that.
Yeah, because I shared it when I shared your post for my interview. My hope and intent was that some of my subscribers would subscribe to you and come check this process out.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, I don't know the answer to that. And it's still kind of the same thing. My channel's still growing. It's still growing. Yeah. I get even on like some of the figure things now. I think I average at least 30 views on some of that stuff.
Right.
On the car stuff, I go anywhere from 30 to like 100, but
that's something I wish I could do more of. The last 2 weeks, I've probably seen 3 YouTube videos. As I had to buy all new TVs. I wanted to do my research before I bought them. Before I go, even though, I got a big insurance check. If I'm going to go spend $1,000, $1,500 on TV, I'm going to get what I want, what I like, and, what's current, what's relative, so, and then there's the whole process of setting it up and adjusting everything, I'm sorry to my subscribers that I follow. I haven't been there at all.
Well, and that's some of the cool thing too about YouTube is you can always go back and watch.
Yeah,
but then you get behind. And
I've tried to. I got my laptop so I could watch videos and build model cars, and I find myself looking at the laptop and not doing nothing on my model car. So I'm like, it's damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Because you want to see what they're doing. They're giving you a tip or a trick. You want to see the finished product. It hadn't helped any. I think I want to get a mount so it's in front of me so I can just pick my head up and look instead of looking to the right. But I'll see how that goes. I need the room on my workbench anyway. So
well, that's some of the cool thing about StreamYard too, is I can pre-record stuff with this,
right,
and then edit it on my iMac, and then it's a shorter video.
right.
There's sometimes like I'll go live for like 45 minutes just because I don't want to edit the video too.
What do you use for editing?
I just use the iMovie thing on my iMac.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that the intro video to this, that was done on my
Right.
iMovie thing.
I use DaVinci Resolve. So yeah. I don't really use the Windows Movie Maker.
I've tried that one once or twice, and I don't think it's as, yeah, it's okay.
It's not hell. It's not made for an Apple. It's not what's the word I'm looking for? Optimized for the Apple iOS as well as the PC.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's very true. But I can have that on my iPhone. It is an iPhone.
iMovie? Yeah, you can do it right there on your iPhone and edit it on your iPhone too. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I've done for the longest time too.
Right.
Like I went and bought a like $500 camera that I don't even use anymore.
Yeah, that's what
Canon
M80, but that's my recording video. That's what I take to the shows and take all my pictures with too. So I didn't when Fred and I left AtlantaCon, I didn't set it up right, and we were bleached. We were overexposed like nobody's business. I didn't think to check the settings before we walked out the door. Oops. I blame it on the sun.
Yeah. Like, yeah. It's pretty, yeah. But, it's all a process. It's all the process.
Gotta learn.
I do like doing these. They are a lot of work. I will say that they are a lot of work.
Keeping it set up and managed as far as getting in touch with people, and then somebody that don't know how to use StreamYard. And just like when I come in here, I'd move my camera over here, and I had it all set up on OSB, and then for some reason, it wouldn't recognize my virtual camera, so I had to close StreamYard. Close OSB and go back through everything.
Yeah. But the I don't know. So there's been a couple people that have had to cancel, and usually I just do a live hangout. Like I just go on the fly or get someone, quickly.
Right. Yeah.
But you have to schedule it out, and then you have to keep, kind of like the week before, you kind of have to. But I've been busy at work and family and.
Yeah, I hit you up in the middle of the week, make sure we were still on. Yeah.
It's just getting. I am going to say this. There is going to be a break. This summer is going to be a break because I'm with COVID and we're not locked down pretty much anymore.
Right.
We're going to be doing some family stuff.
Oh yeah. I don't blame you.
So, but then it'll be back in the wintertime. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen.
Right.
But there's got to be over 50 of these now because I've been doing it for so long.
Right. Yeah. That was almost every weekend.
Yeah. So it's like if you haven't caught them all, you can catch up while I'm gone.
Right.
But I use what is Nexus 5? That's a new one. I haven't heard that one.
To record my videos?
Yeah, I haven't heard that one. Streaming. Streaming is easily taking over your life. Yeah. That's why I don't build Gundams on my channel, because I think it will affect who watches it. I see, and I don't care. You know, I just put so much different stuff in because it's what I'm doing.
Fred, yeah, we were both of us was bleached after that show, especially on my camera. We were some white crackers.
Yeah, and I agree with that, Rick. It is become part of our community. But here's the flip side of that coin. Not everybody wants to be on camera, right?
And not everybody has the tools, you know. And some of them don't. They might have a smartphone, but all they know how to do is make a phone call with it. Because hell, you can't buy flip phones hardly anymore.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I love the fact everybody enjoys these, but at some point I'm gonna run out of people. And what am I gonna do after that?
And I have to have us back on.
Right? I have to figure something out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. I'm not sure when the break's going to be though. But yeah, this summer we're going to be doing
warms up a little bit. When it warms up a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, believe it or not, we're supposed to be like, it's going to be hot this summer, I think, because weather here usually chills out at 60s to 70s this time of year, and we're supposed to start hitting into the 80s next week.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, if you ain't got any other questions for me, I'm thinking I'm gonna end this. Unless you got something else.
Nothing I can think of right offhand. If you don't have anything else for me,
no.
Only thing I can say is if you're going to use Cretex, directions on the bottle, go by what the bottle says, and you're going to be golden every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
30 psi. Don't over reduce it, and enjoy it. It's a good paint.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, you saw some of the builds in this episode. That's
Thank you.
It's crazy. But thank you for coming on. I'm glad we were able to make this work, and I will talk to you in a couple minutes. Okay.
All right. So you want me to hang in?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, everybody. So we got to meet Brian this week. Hopefully everybody learned something about the Createx. And there's a whole new lineup, and that's one of the things I wanted to make sure we covered, because Brian's really good with that stuff. But I will see you guys next week. I'm not sure who's on, though. I have to look at my calendar. But see you guys next week. Bye.